Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your WrestleMania 32 review. Well, it wasn't the worst WrestleMania of all time. It definitely wasn't the best. You keep hearing this. You watch numerous videos. You'll hear the same thing. People are saying it's the worst show ever. I've even saw a couple of people even say worse than WrestleMania 9. These people are retards. They're fucking idiots. People didn't have. I was looking all around. I was watching the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I was watching the live chat. I don't type in that fucking thing, but I see people reminding others how bad WrestleMania 9 was, and waking those people up that there were actually a lot of good moments on this show, and there were a lot of good matches. These people are fucking retards, Everybody's lost their fucking mind, apparently. And I ain't gonna talk about that right now in here this video. But there's a lot of people who wanted to hate this show. The small fraction of TNA fans, and these NXT goofballs that have been attacking me lately, even though I rated the match good and I didn't rate it high enough. I'm an undercover WWE fanboy. You know, give a rating to a match that's good but not good enough, and you're going to get flamed for it. But anything I say good about this show, I'm gonna warn people. There's gonna be goofballs in the comments giving me a hard time. I'm not going to apologize for the actions of these people because that's on them if they want to act like idiots. There's people that wanted to hate this show on the basis of it being WWE, but here's the problem with that. WWE owns NXT, you morons! Just thought I should get that out of the way. Let's get to the fucking review. So I didn't watch the pre-show matches. I was getting together with a couple of people. Um, Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see Greg or Rob in this review. Who usually do these. My step bro also is not here to do the review with me. We got a couple of other friends. They're not into the whole YouTube thing, so unfortunately, I can't get my multi-person vid on here. But there's a lot of people who just prefer me in the vid. So anyway, I missed the Total Divas tag and the Kalisto and Ryback match. But anyway, Kalisto beat Ryback, and the Total Divas beat the Team Bad, Team Blonde. Excuse me. Still getting over being sick. I apologize if my voice cuts out every now and then. But anyway, they beat Team Blonde, Team Bad. In the match I did see, I got back to the house. We were getting something to eat. I saw the Usos defeating the Dudleys. The Usos got their ass booed as they put the Dudleys through the tables because they teased the Dudleys putting the Usos through the tables, which is what people actually wanted to see. The Usos are not over anymore. They were getting there until one of the Usos got injured, whoever it was, Jay or Jimmy. Um, don't I forgot which one it was, Bert. I don't really remember, honestly. They were over at one point. They were getting people to do the "ooh so" thing, but now they can't get the crowd on their side anymore. So it's like a lost cause now with the Usos. I don't think they could do anything to get them over. I guess they were hoping that the Usos beating the Dudleys was going to mean a lot, beating like a legendary tag team. But as you can clearly see, 100,000 people didn't fucking like it at all. Then in the first official match of the show, Zack Ryder, yes, you're hearing that right, that Zack Ryder, the guy that got buried by Kane, Cena, and even fucking Eve Torres in 2012. He won the Intercontinental title in the 7-way ladder match. And I'm kind of happy about this result, I gotta say. Many people, well, actually, the original plan I read was Kevin Owens, as I predicted, was supposed to go over. Sami Zayn, you would have thought maybe would have won it, on the off chance, but that guy's not over yet on the main roster, so it would have been a bad idea to give him the title right away. Um, so Zack Ryder, I think, deserves the belt. I think the guy's been through a lot. The guy tries hard. He doesn't complain a whole lot. They fucked up his show on YouTube. They fucked up his career. The guy got himself over through the magic of the fucking internet. And what did WWE do? They gave him a small push, and in about a month they stomped all over his legacy. They made him look like a goof. They put him in a wheelchair with a neck brace. Cena was making out with his girlfriend in front of him. I mean, it was like they were purposely. Well, it wasn't like they were like. They were actually trying to get everybody to hate Zack Ryder. Tried to turn them off to Zack Ryder, and it didn't work. You could see the moments when it looked like Zack Ryder was going to win this match. The crowd was going crazy for him. He was the most over guy in the match. More over than Zayn, more over than Kevin Owens, more over than anybody in this match. Not like everybody in this match is over. Most people don't care about Stardust. They don't care about The Miz anymore. But Zack Ryder, still to this day, even 4 years after they tried to kill this man's career, stop it dead in its tracks. And the guy somehow, some way, managed to, still keep his head above water. He was a jobber. He was, losing in squash matches to, debuting stars and all that shit. But he's back on top from a certain point of view, I guess. And I hope that they keep up with this, Zack Ryder is good. The guy is, the guy knows how to talk. He knows how to wrestle. And as you guys have seen, Zack Ryder is more jacked than he's ever been. And I never got this. He's not a small guy. He's over 6 foot. The guy is jacked as hell. He's got a great body. Over with the crowd. It's like, how the fuck is he not, like in a bigger, give him a different character. The Long Island Ice Z thing, the spike your hair thing. Jersey Shore has been off the air for a while now. They could have reinvented Zack Ryder. There were rumors they were going to do that. That's on them. Zack Ryder did what he could to get him over by himself. That ain't their fucking job. They're supposed to, this is the environment they're in right now. A heavily scripted environment. They got to do exactly what McMahon and that goofball writing staff say they got to do. Zack Ryder, it's his job to wrestle, his job to convey those promos, but they don't give him any promos. They don't give him any opportunities until tonight. And I can't help but feel a little bit suspicious of exactly why they're doing this. It seems out of nowhere. I hope that they weren't just going for a shock moment. It was actually quite a beautiful moment. In fact, and I'm not saying this to get heat with the YWC, because I'm not really, it's kind of like a one-way war with people on here, but I thought that people were talking about the emotions of Sami Zayn and the Nakamura match. Funny how I didn't get emotional because I wasn't given a reason to. It wasn't there wasn't a story or anything behind it. But Zack Ryder and his dad coming into the ring, think about that for a minute. His fucking father had to watch Zack Ryder see all that shit happen to him, see the company that got behind him at one point fucking shit all over him. I mean, they might as well have fucking shoved his head in the fucking toilet bowl, for God fucking sakes. I mean, you know, think about these people. They have families. They have to see their families watch them on TV. They want to root for their brother, sister, their daughter or son. And the thing is, they have to watch them acting like fucking idiots half the time. And this guy, McMahon, their boss, fucking shitting on them. Imagine how that must make their family feel. It's fucking disgusting when you really think about it. But it was a good moment. And that, my friends, is an emotional wrestling moment. When they involve the family, he wins the title after being through so much. That's not a storyline, but that's a good story, you could say. I give this match 3.5 stars. Um, it was a good match. You can't say that it was incredible or anything like that. Still, I gave Nakamura and Sami Zayn a higher rating than this. 3.5 stars to this one. So it wasn't blowing my mind, but Zack Ryder with the flying elbow drop, with the Macho Man off the top, that was pretty good. Jericho defeated AJ Styles. I don't get the result really here. Um, why they would have AJ take the loss at his first Mania? Let's get something straight here for a fucking minute. Couple of years ago, Jericho jobs out to Fandango. Where is Fandango now? Where is he? He must have become a big star. Oh, what's that? He's a fucking jobber? Well, why is AJ losing? How much fucking sense does that make? Fandango beats Jericho, but AJ Styles just somehow can't do it. And can someone teach Jericho this fucking goof 2 times already? 2 fucking times. This guy has botched. How many times has AJ Styles done that backflip reverse DDT combo? The second fucking time on a pay-per-view, Jericho fails to lean his head back. It's like when AJ's going for the springboard, what the fuck does Jericho think he's doing? I mean, I don't get it, and I'm not crazy about Jericho nowadays. The guy sounds like a shithead when he does his podcast. I wasn't a big fan of how he says the crowd shouldn't chant certain things, and he also just acts like a fucking idiot every time he cuts a promo. AJ Styles. Either that's, I don't know if that's improv or I gotta think that maybe McMahon gave it to him. But anyway, seriously, botching the same move 2 pay-per-views in a row. The fuck is going on here? It was a decent match. I'm giving it 3 stars. There was some good moments here, but I still don't like the chemistry between these guys. There's just something about it. The match is not smooth. They don't work well together. I know it seems like a dream match of sorts, but it's time to move on already. 4 matches, and they're probably gonna have a fifth. I'm gonna assume that Extreme Rules will be like a cage match or something like that. But Who knows? It might be Triple H and Roman Reigns in a cage match at Extreme Rules. So I don't fucking know. I'm gonna have to think that after 4 plain fucking matches, they're gonna want to do some special gimmick match or a stipulation of some sort. Just to freshen things up a bit. But like AJ's WrestleMania debut, and the guy's got to lose. I really failed to see the purpose behind that booking, and this was something that a lot of people were saying, and I kind of agree. I don't really see the booking here. Like the reason behind some of this shit. You don't have AJ lose on his first Mania. I know that's it's kind of hard to really know how I feel about this. It's not really like I'm having a hard time registering this fucking shit. Like, that you can't have predictability all the time, but sometimes it just makes more sense. Why would you want to make AJ lose at Mania? I know Jericho's going to stick around for a little bit after Mania. Probably just have another match with AJ. But even still, like a win for Jericho. This guy's done everything he possibly can in his career. How is taking another wrestler down a peg? How is that helping people? I swear to God, just having matches with a guy is not enough. They need to start telling better stories. Because AJ Styles, Y2 Jackass, that ain't enough. I'm sorry, guys, if you feel that's stimulating storytelling, but not where I come from. That's fucking shit, and that's annoying as fuck. The League of Nations defeated New Day. This match was fucking horseshit. It was a very, very bland, boring match. Their entrance coming out of a fucking cereal box. I got to tell you something. Me and my stepbrother, we invited 2 other friends over to watch this with us who don't normally watch wrestling. They had, just like a lot of people, I mentioned this in previous vids, stopped watching years ago. They've abandoned the product, So I was embarrassed to watch this entrance in front of them. If I watched this in front of my friends Greg and Rob, who you saw in the Barclays Center review when I reviewed Raw. I wouldn't have been as embarrassed because these guys watch Raw every Monday night like me. They watch every pay-per-view. But sitting there watching fucking adult men in their 30s come out of a fucking cereal box dressed in poorly made Saiyan armor. Xavier Woods is a big DBZ fan. He's a big gaming and anime fan. I can appreciate that, but this was a goofball look. I mean, and coming out of a cereal box, bootios. I was just like, what the fuck is this? You show this to fucking 8, 9-year-olds, and they're gonna even say the same thing. This looks fucking retarded. The thing is, has McMahon even talked to children? Does he know what children like? Children have fucking cell phones nowadays. Obviously they're looking at violent content. They're already playing violent video games. Parents are terrible nowadays. They let their kids play M-rated games, and then they wonder why they turned out so fucked up because of their poor parenting, zero parenting and exposure to a bunch of shit. They don't know how to differentiate reality from fiction. I ain't going to get into all that, but all you got to know is kids are fucked up nowadays. Boy, did I think my generation is shitty. But the one coming up, far, far worse, motherfuckers. And to think that They think that they're in touch with children, and they think that's their core audience. Even though the ratings breakdown shows that it's still 18 to 30 and above, um, they refuse to acknowledge this, that mostly adults watch their product, not kids. And especially when this fucking show was almost 5 hours, not counting the pre-show. I'm talking about it starting from 7 o'clock, the official show. So who the fuck is up that late? That's like a little kid. Anyway, the League of Nations realistically beats New Day. Bro kicked from Sheamus, and they pin New Day. And then the League of Nations get on the mic and they say there's no three guys who could beat them. And who comes out? Stone Cold, Mick Foley, and Shawn Michaels. And fucking Shawn Michaels hasn't had his shirt off in a long time. The guy looks fucking phenomenal. Mick Foley, he's down 50 pounds. Stone Cold, as I've said in the past, the guy's got big jacked arms. These guys are like in better shape than they were in their prime. They come down to the ring and they just fucking whoop their asses. Stunner, sweet chin music, Sacco, the mandible claw. And then New Day gets in the ring and they start saying, "Let's dance." And I was like, oh shit, don't let Stone Cold dance. And I could see Mick Foley dancing with him, of course, but Stone Cold starts doing a little jig, and then he gives this stunner to that motherfucking goofball Woods. That was a beautiful fucking moment. That was awesome. Three of the most over wrestlers of all time. They come out there, kick ass, hit their finishers, looked awesome. Some people are going to argue that, the League of Nations got buried there. But the League of Nations fucking sucks cock. So I don't really fucking care, If they want to have respect for their wrestlers, then do something to make them look cool on TV. Because as far as I'm concerned, the League of Nations is the lamest fucking thing I've ever seen. And the same thing goes for New Day, coming out of a fucking cereal box. But this great moment, you've never seen this team before also. Mick Foley, Austin, and Michaels. That was a great moment. Everybody in my little group was marking out for this moment. They all thought it was awesome. That was a fucking mania moment right there. That was pretty fucking cool. That they saved a shitty fucking match with just three guys coming out there and hitting their finishers. That really says something about their past talent and how over they were. You people like to talk about certain guys being over. Some people are under the impression that, even a guy like Seth Rollins, who I like personally, they like to say he's over. No. These three guys over here, that's being over. When you can make the whole crowd go insane and just, not even being in an official match and getting the biggest reaction from the fucking crowd. That is being over. Brock Lesnar defeated Dean Ambrose in the street fight. This undoubtedly was one of the most disappointing fucking matches I ever seen. What the fuck was that? What was shown wasn't horrible. It was alright. But for fuck's sake, that was so fast. It was like under 10 minutes. You'd expect like Dean Ambrose to, keep getting his ass kicked and keep coming back for more. They repeated the spot with Ambrose and Rollins. with Dean throwing 1,000 chairs into the ring. I guess you could say it's his signature spot. But Brock Lesnar, he ducks the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, and he hits the F5, um, onto the chairs. It was cool. Seeing the suplex onto the chairs and stuff, but it was too short, and there wasn't enough here to really say that it was a great match. I mean, for this to be the third, most advertised match on the card, you expect so much more. Um, I don't know what the fuck they were going for here. They could have at least had Ambrose hit, Brock Lesnar in the head with the end, with the handle of the chainsaw. He pulls it out briefly. Ambrose had a wagon, but I guess due to the poor response, he didn't end up bringing it out. Thank fucking God for that. Yeah, 2 stars to this match. There really wasn't enough here to warrant anything higher. Anyway, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. Sorry, I wrote Charlotte's name down twice. This was a pretty good fucking match. I give it 3 stars actually. This is what I expect some of the NXT quality women's wrestling. Not quite up to what we saw with Sasha Banks and Bayley, but this was pretty fucking good. You could even argue it was probably the best women's match we saw in Mania history. I don't know how much competition you could really get, by making that claim, but it was pretty fucking good. I don't really remember a lot of epic women's matches. Maybe Trish and Mickie James, you can argue, was another good match because at least that had a big story, a better storyline behind it. But pretty fucking good match. As I predicted, Charlotte won. I think you're probably gonna get Sasha and Charlotte on Extreme Rules or on the next pay-per-view after that. Maybe they might go for a triple threat rematch, but a pretty good fucking match. And I think it might be one of the best women's matches they've had in all the WrestleManias. Undertaker defeated Shane McMahon in Hell in a Cell. Holy fucking shit. I predicted the spot, but I never thought that he would do it. Well, I kind of did assume he was going to do it. I explained that this again in my Raw review, that Shane McMahon hit the elbow on the table. I said the only way that they could top that spot that would fit in with the Hell in the Cell structure is to have him climb up there and do the famous spot. And he fucking did that. Not only just that spot, but you had a choke slam on the steel steps, a leaping DDT on the steel steps. You had a lot of good fucking moments. They crashed through the side of the Hell in a Cell. Shane's head almost hits the edge of the fucking table. Shane with a fucking toolbox, a headshot, which, surprised me. I'm not used to seeing headshots like this. And this was a phenomenal fucking match. And the rating I'm going to give to this match is probably because that was the most dangerous Hell in the Cell ever since fucking Mick Foley and Undertaker. And if you think that that is an overstatement, get the fuck out of here. That right there was an amazing match. Undertaker won, so I'm a little bit concerned. The fact that this whole match was involving Shane taking over, and he said he was going to improve Raw. because he said that the show was not good under Vince McMahon's reign. I was live tweeting during this show, and somebody had told me, they said, "Oh, you know that Shane's not really gonna take over if he wins." Uh, I know that, but the thing is, the storyline is if Shane won, he was going to improve the show because they were acknowledging that they sucked. Okay, so by Shane losing this match, it's like they're saying, "Oh, well, we suck, but we're gonna continue to suck because Shane lost." I mean, 5 stars, motherfuckers. And if you have a problem with that, take a fucking look at the spot. Shane McMahon comes down over 20 feet. I think the cell, I'm not entirely sure, but that's a new Hell in the Cell. It might even be higher up than the Mick Foley one. I might be wrong, but whatever it may be, that was fucking incredible. And, of course, there's going to be people tearing this match down, and for whatever reason, I don't see how anybody possibly could. But, you're going to have the naysayers out there, and you know who you are. Baron Corbin won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not opposed to this. Based on who they put in the match, Shaquille O'Neal was a nice celebrity surprise there, but yeah, I was kind of like, okay, Shaquille O'Neal. He really hasn't been relevant in a long time, but it was a nice surprise, I suppose. It definitely was a surprise. I didn't expect to see fucking Shaq coming down to the ring. And Jesus Christ, that motherfucker is fucking tall as shit. I mean, like, on a basketball court, for some reason, the camera angles, he didn't look that tall, but he gets in the ring, and damn, the dude is massive. And he was there, like, years ago. I believe he appeared in, like, 2010 on Raw to confront the Big Show. A good surprise, but, like, you had DDP in here, and there was a really shit fucking roster in this match. I don't know who else they could have put in here. They could have gotten some other stars or some shit. Get some guys off the indies or some shit. I don't know. Get some former stars of, get get Gangrel or some fucking shit. Get somebody to come out there. But Baron Corbin won. I do like Baron Corbin, and he eliminated, I think, Kane last, so that was a bit poetic in a sense. If you watch NXT, you know who Baron Corbin is, but once again, if you've never seen NXT or you don't regularly watch it, you weren't gonna know who he was. Now, the guy did get some cheers, but I don't know. I really don't understand how WWE scratches their heads not knowing why certain people don't get over. As I said, you just can't throw people out there and expect them to care. Now, of course, people are going to be like, "Oh, who's this guy?" Some people are just going to be, "Who the fuck is this schmuck?" Which I think is more going to be the realistic reaction of most people. But yeah, I don't really have a rating. If it's a battle royal, there's no real wrestling quality or storytelling to be had here. The Rock came out. I thought it was a t-shirt gun at first, but it was a fucking flamethrower. He ignited his name. They had like a big sign with his name on it, the lettering. It was pretty fucking cool. The Rock announced a new attendance record, 101,000 people there. There's a little bit more than that. I noticed they didn't say that it was sold out. A lot of people were questioning whether or not there were really 100,000 people there. not everybody shows up for the event. There's sometimes, still empty seats. I don't fucking know. It's still crazy that they had that many people in there, but it was pretty fucking cool. And it was a WrestleMania attendance record. Bray Wyatt comes out. He goes face to face with The Rock. The Rock puts him over. He says that the guy's got a lot of talent. He insulted him a little bit. Compared him to Duck Dynasty, and said that he's not the eater of worlds, he's the eater of hot pockets. Funny stuff from The Rock. Then The Rock challenges them to a match. Anybody in the Wyatts. Eric Rowan steps forward. The Rock rips off his pants. He's already in his tights. Eric Rowan comes up to The Rock. He gives him the rock bottom, and it's the quickest match in history. I think before that it was Chavo and Kane for the ECW title at WrestleMania 24. They beat that record. People are complaining that The Rock buried the Wyatts. The thing is here, I'm going to explain myself. First, I'll get through the Cena returned, which, I'm not really opposed to. People are saying, this killed Mania. It didn't, it didn't really kill Mania at all. Cena and The Rock, they beat them up. The Wyatts are left running, I've ranted this on a number of occasions about how I feel about how the Wyatts are being treated. They should be treated better. It's like I'm losing oxygen fucking talking about this. It's like, okay, we all know that the Wyatts are not in the good spot. They keep going up and down with them. I don't know now whether Bray Wyatt is going to face Brock Lesnar, which is a match that we still never got, or if they're going to now do Cena and Bray Wyatt, because now they started building up to that. It's like they're all over the place. This was a cool moment. Seeing The Rock, it was funny with the rock bottom and all that, and setting the new match record, 2 record set. I understand the concept there, but it was at the expense of one of the most over acts of all time. I shouldn't say of all time. Well, Bray Wyatt at one time was extremely over in 2014. And he was extremely over, as The Rock pointed out. Everybody had their cell phones out during the entrance. It was an incredible fucking sight, adding to the spectacle of WrestleMania and his entrance. But I understand the gripes here. By having The Rock crush Eric Rowan, a huge dude, in 6 seconds, Cena coming out, who was already responsible for burying Bray. I can't say I hated this. I had a love-hate relationship with this segment. I mean, it's the fucking Rock. If you're going to get buried by somebody, let it be The Rock. The Rock did put over Bray Wyatt. I mean, I was getting a lot of heat for this on Twitter because I said I enjoyed this segment. But I kind of see where people are coming from, and I do agree to a point. I mean, it's The Rock. He should be allowed to kind of have free reign in the WWE. I mean, that's just who he is. He's done a lot for the company. But, I can't help but feel how much more powerful it would have been to have the Wyatts lay waste to The Rock. I know it wouldn't have had that feel-good WrestleMania moment, but it would have been a powerful segment. And yeah, Cena coming out there and beating up Bray Wyatt, it certainly didn't help matters. So, a mixed reaction. I'm not saying it's okay what they did. I'm just saying it wasn't the worst thing ever. And it was a pretty good Mania moment. Even if it didn't really help out the Wyatts the way how, I or and a lot of other people would have liked it too, but whatever. Not really whatever. I don't want to just brush it off. It's not a good thing, but it still was a fun segment. Roman Reigns defeated Triple H for the world title. We all knew this was going to happen. This match was boring. It really was. It wasn't the worst WrestleMania match of all time. Certainly Orton and Triple H was a lot worse. Stephanie getting speared by accident. I think the last time we saw a girl get hit like that, I think I don't even remember. I think it's when Orton hit the RKO on Stephanie back in 2009. And that's pretty weird, actually. You know what? It's okay as long as Triple H is on the screen. It's okay to have blood as long as Triple H is there. It's okay to have chair shots to the head with, as long as Triple H is there. It's okay for women to get brutalized as long as Triple H is there. And guys, the way I feel about this is the women are part of the show. The women getting knocked around and all that and shit, that's part of the show. It's entertainment. The fact that, years ago this was such a big thing that they promised they were never going to put girls through tables again and all this shit was completely crazy. I mean, it's part of the show. They do it to get a reaction from the crowd and the home audience. It's like women get attacked all the time in movies and TV shows. So when they do it on a wrestling show, I don't know why it's such a big fucking deal. But this match was pretty bland other than that spot. Roman Reigns with the spear through the barricade. We've seen that spot not only from him, but so many others, not even on pay-per-views, but episodes of Raw, countless other shows. And Roman Reigns getting booed as WrestleMania goes off the air. Yeah. To say that they are not completely out of touch, it would just be an outrageous fucking statement. It really would be. In case anybody's wondering, I'm going to give this show a 7 out of 10. I rated NXT higher. Let's keep that in mind. But this is kind of a different kind of rating. NXT was a better wrestling show. This was a better spectacle. And you have a 5-star match on this card. But this main event, I mean, I kind of have written down here that this dropped. I was going to give this match 2.5 stars. It dropped to 2 stars. And now I'm really thinking that I want to give it 1.5 to 1 3/4 stars. Because the only thing in this match that stood out to me was Reigns giving the spear to Stephanie. And that was, it was awesome because seeing Stephanie finally get the spear, and also her entrance, you could argue that, I like what the Archfiend said. By the way, go check out his videos. I'm subscribed to him as well. Archfiend does great videos on here. He did a Mania review today, and he said that the entrance for Triple H reminded him of a Mad Max trailer. Stephanie got up, she was with a skull mask. I thought it was Triple H at first. It was Stephanie. She starts telling the crowd that she She wants them to grovel and all that before the king. Didn't she just say this on Raw? In fact, I think she even said it twice on Raw. So dressing her up, they had her hair all wild and shit like that. It's like Stephanie is like one of the most fucking annoying. I mean, at one time I praised her, but now she's just getting cliche as hell. She's getting almost as annoying as Vicky Guerrero. I don't think she's that annoying, but she's getting there. Compared to last year's Terminator entrance, this was not as good. And I'm just gonna say that seeing Stephanie, get the spear, that was so fucking satisfying. I just felt like a great moment just occurred. That was a great moment for me. Just seeing Stephanie get her fucking mouth shut, that was incredible. Um, you know, just to see that. But anyway, the match, I really, I'll give it a star and 3/4. It wasn't the worst thing ever that I've ever seen, but it certainly fell flat. And I gotta take away points because the fact that they are shoving Roman down our throats so much that Mania goes off the air to a chorus of boos directed at Roman Reigns. Now, I feel like this show should get lower than a 7 out of 10 just based on that. And plus, how the fuck was this card layered? I mean, okay, from Hell in a Cell to the Memorial Battle Royal, which is supposed to bring the crowd down. I mean, I would have layered it like this. It should have been the Memorial Battle Royal. Put Triple H and Roman Reigns on, then do the Rock segment, and then do the Hell in the fucking Cell. Because the thing is, how the fuck were they supposed to follow a fucking guy jumping off the top of a cell through a fucking table? And I told that to everybody that was sitting down watching Mania with me, and they fucking agreed. I mean, how could you not agree with that? The match that has the biggest spot, the match that has the most excitement and the most riding on it. I don't give a fuck if it was for the WWE title. Screw that. They're cheering the fucking heel. They're booing the fucking face. It's a fucking mess. It shouldn't even happen in the first place. So, I don't care about your little fucking arguments and shit that you have about the world title going on last. Go fuck your fucking self. I was just watching King of the Ring 1999. Undertaker and The Rock, they have their match for the world title. It was a great match. But guess what went on last? Stone Cold, Vince McMahon, and Shane McMahon in a ladder match for the control of the company. Because Vince Russo, I can't take it away from him. He's the one who said this on Wrestling Inc. And I know I mention him a lot, but that's because the guy is fucking right. The control of the company, there is no world title. It's a fake fucking belt. The company, the control of it, I know it's just Raw, but even still, it's a show. It's the main show that they have that rakes in the money for them on the USA Network. That is what is more important than a fucking belt. You want a fucking belt? This is the fucking belt. This is as much as it means on Roman Reigns. This is a fake fucking belt. It means just as much. Actually, I'll fuck that. I'm a better champion. Look at me. I'm superior to Reigns. I'm not even a fucking wrestler and I'm still better than him. Holy fucking shit. I mean, for Christ's fucking sakes. What were they thinking putting this match on last? Oh boy, I'm really tempted to give this show a 6.5 out of 10. And I swear to God, I might actually change my rating for the show if they don't do something with Reigns on Raw. That's right, motherfuckers. I'm probably going to do a separate Raw preview after this. But if they don't do something with Roman Reigns on Raw to fix this shit with everybody booing him like a heel turn, or that's the only path they could go. I don't see what else they could do. They certainly are not going to start writing better storylines for him. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. It was a decent Mania. As it stands now, a 7 out of 10. Good women's match. Austin, Michaels, and Foley. The Rock being there. Zack Ryder in a good match, winning the title. It was a huge surprise. Undertaker and Shane's a fucking 5-star affair with one of the most incredible spots I've ever fucking seen. One of the greatest moments of all time right there in WWE and Mania history. And that's going to be kind of hard to argue in a way because it was fucking crazy. But anyway, guys, as it stands now, 7 out of 10. Not a bad show. Some people wanted to hate this show. As I said, as it stands, is for a overall wrestling show, NXT TakeOver Dallas is superior. But as far as spectacle and what was more entertaining to me, it was WrestleMania. I'll just be perfectly fucking honest. But if I have, this is 51 minutes, my fucking God. Sorry for the long length of this video, but I had a lot to say. The thing is, what also made that Triple H Roman Reigns match so terrible is the fact that they were cutting in. They just, by a hair, missed the 5-hour mark. And some people even argue that this was 7 hours because they watched the pre-show, which was 2 hours. Cut this fucking shit down for God fucking sakes. This did not need to be 5 fucking hours. And it was funny because my friend Steven, I'm off from work today, but fucking Steven I have a fucking had class today, and he's like, "Will this fucking shit end? I've got class tomorrow." Exactly. It's like it's fucking midnight already. End the fucking shit. It's like not everybody's got time. Some people got work in the morning. If I wasn't off today, I would have had fucking work in the morning. But luckily I've got a personal holiday today. But for fuck's sakes, it was 5 fucking hours. Anyway, guys, pretty decent Mania. I'm going to do a Raw preview for you guys, but yeah, cut this shit down. When did the show even become 5 hours? Wasn't it fucking 4 hours last year? I don't fucking know. All right, guys.